Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015 whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the you in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
Where we give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for everybody that's sticking with us. As long as we're still here to help you do it. Don't forget our shows every Friday, 7 p.m., the Friday Fix. And every Sunday, 1 p.m., the Sunday Town Hall. Those are both Pacific times, 7 p.m. and 1 p.m. Welcome to our show. How you doing, Senor Wesley?
I'm good, man. It's been a pretty hectic day. The end of the day kind of came in kind of fast on us right here. I know you got some things to talk about.
Yeah, some crazy stuff going on. Yeah, House GOP makes it official. Its plans for devastating cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. House Republicans want to enact a $4.5 trillion worth of tax cuts over the course of the next decade. Some that will include extending Trump's 2017 tax cuts that provided the most benefits to the wealthy Americans. They proposed $2 trillion in federal spending cuts. Those spending cuts would offset the cost of the tax cuts, but only partially, meaning the entire proposal would actually end up adding trillions to the national deficit, roughly $3 trillion over 10 years. That coupled with the plan to raise the debt limit by $4 trillion has the physical hawks in the House howling, Politico reported. Hardlines in the House Freedom Caucus are reportedly pressing for at least another $500 billion in spending cuts to be outlined in the proposal. Plus, they want to see work requirements. Another GOP word spending cuts for Medicaid, food aid benefits, and at least one other social safety net program made explicitly in the resolution. If not entirely clear where the $2 trillion in cuts will come from, rather the House Budget Committee is proposing various committees find enough savings to hit fixed spending reduction targets. So while not explicitly stated, the House Budget Committee documents Medicaid and supplement nutrition assisted programs are the programs most directly in the crosshairs. The document charged the House Energy and Commerce Committee with finding $800 billion in 10 years of saving. More than half the total cuts outlined in the proposal. It's also directed the House Committee of Agriculture to identify another $230 billion in cuts. The Energy Commerce Committee oversees Medicaid spending, and the AG panel has jurisdictions over SNAP and other nutrition programs. So, I mean, there you have it, folks.
He's coming after your Medicaid. He's coming after
Medicaid. He's coming after your snaps. And people don't. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's good. Let them cut food stamps." Let me explain to you how corporate America has implemented food stamps into everyone's lives. If you work at Walmart, Walmart will pay you minimum wage. They could pay you more because the Walton family makes billions of dollars a year, but they don't. So they pay you minimum wage. The government subsidizes their payments, so they get it back in taxes. And so what they do, they put you on food stamps. So you have to put on food stamps. So Walmart could pay everyone. McDonald's, Walmart, Safeway, Kroger, they could pay you a living wage, but they don't because the money they don't pay you, they get it back from the government by putting you on food stamps. So when they cut the food stamp benefits to everybody, you're going to go hungry. The people are going to starve, and then you're not going to have any, the ACA, that's what they're coming for, basically, the Affordable Care Act.
And at the same time, you look at like this Medicaid, that's going to hurt seniors. You know what I mean? Also, on top of that, you have to look at it like when you cut food benefits, it's also going to hurt rural people. Who produces the food? Farmers, people in rural areas. They produce the food, they produce the crop, everything that we're dealing with. I mean, who else is it going to hurt? It's going to hurt the employees at the grocery stores. Less money coming into those stores. I mean, at the same time. So I mean, he's telling you it's the poorest among us, the most vulnerable among us, who they look at cutting their benefits first. They're not going to go after the wealthy, which he could. He could go after putting taxes on corporations, but he's not. He'd rather put them. And at the same time, when you do get these measly tax cuts, the same ones that he gave us before, when he runs up the deficit the way he's going to run it up, you understand that deficit spending equals inflation. Inflation equals taking money out of your pocket. So they know they're going to get the money back from you. Like, oh, yeah, go ahead, give them a little bit of money. We'll get it back from when they got to go buy stuff from us.
Yeah. Well,
That's that
actually,
because we're going
see,
to increase the cost of it.
yeah.
That's what they've been doing for years. It's just, go ahead.
And you see how they're going to extend the tax cuts for the wealthy, and that's what put us in this predicament in the first place. The only thing that threw
One
us
of the
all
things,
off
yep.
is that we should have elected Donald Trump for another 4 years, so there was no one to blame for all the stuff that was happening under Joe Biden. But see, they're going to give the rich more tax cuts. We all had our chance during COVID to have a general strike like we should have, which would have helped us all, because then we could have stuck it to the corporations, but we didn't. We took the little handouts they gave us, all the extra stuff, and they came back and got it in blood. Now children and families are going to starve. And like I said to the panel on Sunday, it may not affect you directly because you may be well off, but it's going to affect the people around you don't even realize. It's going to affect that senior you walk past. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect your kids when they go to school and they're going to watch half the class not be able to eat because there's no food for them to eat. You know what I'm saying? You're going to watch children starve here in the streets in America, and there's no one to blame but the people in office. You can't blame Joe Biden because the kids were eating. They had summer programs. And as a person that used to work childcare and work in the schools, I will tell you, there's some kids they eat. The last time they eat is Friday, and the next time they don't eat is till Monday because there's no food in the house. You have that.
Yep.
You have on top of that, you haven't done anything to stop the opioid addiction. You know what I'm saying? You're taking away the ACA. That's what you're going for. You're gonna take away people's health care. So we're gonna be watching Americans die in the streets. There's no more, hey, you don't eat that food. You better eat that food. You're gonna have to send it, or we're gonna send it to Africa. You're gonna have to send that to Ohio. You're gonna have to send that to Kentucky. And people and you see the senators in the red states are coming out like, yo, can you wait till after my reelection to do this? Because they know who's gonna starve. It's gonna be their constituents. Here, I live in
We have
Washington. I live in a blue state, and I'm proud to because we have enough funding where we're going to take care of our own. The rest of you, I don't know what to tell you because don't ask for nothing. Ask your senators.
This is how I kind of look at it right here. I mean, he's coming to into power, and now he hasn't done anything to enact any policies towards reducing the cost of food. He hasn't worried about gasoline, reducing the cost of the pump, any of these kind of programs. He hasn't thought about any of this. It's all been for the wealthy. He's come out and he's been like stout for the wealthy, making sure that whatever's happening, it's about things that'll benefit the wealthier class, nothing that benefits the poor
They
at
didn't
all. I
even
haven't
they
seen it.
correct. They haven't even taken off the tax on your tips yet. Remember, he said that
Absolutely.
there
Hmm.
was a lot of things he told you he was going to do, and he hasn't done it. And you can say, well, it takes time. No, it does not take time. He
He
did. He
showed
did.
you it don't
Look
take
how
time.
much he did in a week with a swipe of his pen. If he wanted the price of eggs to go down, he would, but they can't go down because our chicken population here has been ravaged by the bird flu. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to stop because they're cutting down. Look, you see the people in the CDC, they're waiting for RFK to get in there. They're about to have mass people just resigning. They're like, no, we're out of here. We're not going to do
Yeah.
it.
On another note, I mean, the same thing, right along the same line here is Trump loosens enforcement of U.S. law banning bribery of foreign officials. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday signed an executive order directing the Justice Department to pause prosecutions of Americans accused of bribing foreign government officials while trying to win or retain business in their countries. Trump's order pauses enforcement of a nearly half-century old Foreign Corruption Practices Act and directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to review current and past actions related to the law and prepare new guidelines for enforcement. The law enacted in 1977 prohibits companies that operate in the United States from bribing foreign officials. Over time, it has become a guiding force for how American businesses operate overseas. It's going to mean a lot more business for America, Trump told reporters while signing the order in the Oval Office on Monday. Trump wanted to strike down FCPA during his first term in office. He has called it a horrible law and said the world is laughing at us for enforcing it. Anti-corruption watchdog Transparency International said FCPA made the United States a leader in addressing global corruption. Trump's executive order diminishes and could pave the way for complete elimination. The crown jewel in the U.S. fight against global corruption, Gary Coleman, executive director of Transparency International U.S., said in a statement. So basically,
What you
he's
talking
letting
about,
us
Willis?
know.
My bad.
No, no. So basically, he's
Yeah.
letting us know that I mean, United States, we're no longer the country that wants to do for you to do good business. We're okay with trying to bribe you, and we're good with you trying to bribe us.
Yeah.
That's
Remember,
that's what this is about.
that's what got him in
Period. Plain and
trouble in
simple.
Ukraine. He went to Ukraine. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to find some stuff on Joe Biden and Hunter
Yeah,
Biden."
exactly. And this is what I'm saying. So you're angry about you're saying they're doing this, but now you're like, this is good business for us. It's not good business because you're really hurting the consumer in other countries. You're not when we don't play above board, other countries can get dirtier because they're a lot poorer than what we are already. So it's a lot easier for them to steal and to make sure that their people are being less taken care of by what's going on. We're not there. I understand we already don't play by a lot of rules. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we're perfect, but us having a some kind of a veneer of trying to be more of a perfect union, like we always say, helps the rest of the world kind of as a guiding light, as a beacon. But right now, we're seeing exactly who runs things, like you were just talking about. You see where they're looking to cut, and now you see where they're looking to gain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let us go bribe business. He can take care of businesses, but he can't take care of the common consumer, of the common American. He can't do that.
Well,
If that can happen, if this can happen overnight, then it should be overnight for him to sign other executive orders to kind of get things going for the American people as well.
Well, I think this too. In America, we think we're the world leaders. You know what I'm saying? And that's because we always have our thumb on everybody else. That's basically just what's going on. And so now it's like we're kind of looking like a
You
crazy
also
house. Think about it. Think about it. These people are they're telling people in news conferences, they're like, if you refer to it as the Gulf of Mexico, we'll kick your news company out of here. You know what I'm saying? Madness. We are living in open crazy madness, but that's how it is. Once you read the history books and when it goes to Black history, they take our history and erase it. They take everybody's history and just they make theirs wild and crazy and whatever they want to make it because whoever is the conqueror gets to write the history. So right now we're going to be living in mass corruption. We're not going to have our pool in the world because they're getting rid of the U.S. aid going out, and and people don't realize that food was already sent out. So you cut it off. There's food rotting
on the docks right
on the
now.
docks right now.
It's just really crazy also because they've been trying to push Jordan and Egypt to take these Palestinians. They said basically we'll cut off the U.S. aid if you don't take it. And Egypt's like, you know what? Our peace with Israel is contingent upon this aid that you guys have guaranteed to us back probably during the whatever treaty they signed. Was probably this aid was probably put in there and then increased over time. And also you remember then when the I think it was the Egyptian, that he might be the president or prime minister, I'm not absolutely sure, was accused of giving Trump like 10 or 15 million dollars. So this is
Yeah,
a bribery thing right here. So are you already preemptively showing your hand? Like, I don't care if he says something about it or not. Now, who cares if he says that he bribed me and gave me this money or not? Because now I make it so it ain't illegal no more.
yeah.
I'll pardon myself for doing it. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. So this is just crazy to me because we're seeing America just disintegrate right before our eyes. We're
Yeah, of
seeing the
course.
degradation of our moral standing around the world. We look at ourselves as a world leader because we're the largest GDP by far. You can take the three countries, probably the next China, and then the next two or three countries, and they still don't have a larger GDP than what America has. It's crazy.
I think
It's
he's
not
taking
like,
our
what I'm saying.
government after, it's basically he's not going to make us look soft no more. I mean, like
I don't understand
now
what's soft
to
though.
us in
What's looking
America, it seems
soft?
like we're soft and we're caring and stuff, but that's not the America that we
That
live in. We know the truth. I mean, me
yeah.
and you, sir, we know what America does to its own people and how it treats
Mhm.
everyone. Now he's just like, look, man, you're going to call it the Gulf of America. Who going to stop me? You know, say I'm gonna take Greenland. Who gonna stop me? I'm gonna take Panama. I'm gonna take Gaza. I'm gonna do what I want. We can take bribes. We can do whatever. Let's get this money.
I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
he's
This is who we are now. There's no going back. No matter after he gets done, I mean, how can you even go back? Hey, don't worry, everyone. I know we let your country starve for 4 years, but we're gonna send you the money back now. Hey, I know
and
we
that's
took over
exactly what he's
Greenland.
doing though.
I know we took over
Exactly.
part of Canada and we killed a quarter of your population. Well, don't worry, we're gonna give you some money now. Don't worry. No, there's no going back. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? There's something once you push all the toothpaste out the tube, you can't put it back in there.
Absolutely. And that's what this is what he's looking for. I mean, he keeps on pushing the fact that he wants to serve another 4 years. I don't think he'll even I mean, who knows if he'll even be alive or cognizant by that time, but he keeps pushing that fact. I mean, and the
He
way that
won't
he's
need to
putting the
be.
government together,
He won't
it's
need to
probably a
be.
good chance that, and they'll probably gerrymander, what I mean, a bunch of the districts before we even get there, and the Supreme Court will go along with it. So who's to
Cons-
say where
Conspiracy
we're gonna
theorists.
yeah.
Elon will create an AI of Donald Trump, use that to control America. Donald Trump's children will be killed in between his presidency. And they'll say it was by some foreign country or whatever, so nobody can question if it's really Donald Trump or not, because he has too many kids for them not to not be seeing him. You know what I'm saying? That's just a conspiracy by me, but it makes sense. Why is Elon trying to sue now? He tried to buy the AI company. Now he's mad they won't sell to him, so he's hot about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I mean, America's gonna be what it is, bro. I don't even know why they're gonna keep calling it America. He's probably gonna change the name of that too. He's like Trumperkin or something like that. But speaking of America, folks, major grocery store caps the number of eggs customers can buy. Shoppers scrambling to get their hands on eggs as prices skyrocket may find a cap on how many they can buy at the grocery store. Several supermarket chains have begun limiting the number of eggs shoppers are allowed to purchase, as a deadly strain of the bird flu is forcing farmers to slaughter millions of chickens and pushing up prices. Trader Joe's confirmed to Fox Business that it's currently limiting egg purchases to 1 dozen per customer per day. The cap will impact about 600 Trader Joe locations nationwide. We hope that limits will help to ensure that as many of our customers who are able to purchase them when they visit Trader Joe's, the company said. Other retailers to implement egg caps include Costco, Walmart, and Whole Foods.
I
So
mean, yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
a
get worse. And now look, hey, and now the bird flu has turned to the cows.
Hey, well, you look at it like, I mean, that's a crazy thing right there too. We had talked about that in the last episode. Go check
Yep.
it out. That's episode 109. When we look at it like this, though, we go ahead and cut SNAP benefits. It's probably going to help with less people purchasing a little bit less food at the time. They won't be able to purchase as many eggs. You see how they just hit the lick in Seattle for like about
Yeah.
600 eggs.
Yeah,
Somebody hit a
yeah, I
lick like
saw
600 eggs
that.
in Seattle. You
And
know what I mean? Like
the
people
Asian
are hitting the
restaurant, you
licks
see him.
for eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like they're hitting the licks for eggs. I mean, right now, man, if
Yeah.
you got chickens, you're winning right now. If you got
Yeah.
chickens right now and they're laying eggs, you're winning.
I know a
Period,
girl that
plain and
do
simple.
chickens, right? I hit her up. I was like, "What's up with them eggs?" She's like, they ain't dropping eggs right now. It's not the season for it." I'm like, "That don't even seem right. That don't even seem.
There ain't no
I'm gonna let you
there ain't no
slide."
season for I mean, depending on what kind of chick she got, I mean, kind of chicken she has too. But
Yeah,
I mean, the biggest thing right now is like
I'm about to hit her with
there's
the.
there's no
Yeah,
focus on the grocery prices. Why is there not a focus on this? Why are we not hearing Donald Trump stepping up to the plate about this? He's talking about everything else. Him and Elon are checking under every mattress, checking under every you know what I mean, motherfucking rug, pillow, everything for money everywhere else. Why aren't we checking to see what's helping the American people? Because you're
because
not doing that right now.
their friends are the ones that own the grocery chains. Why would they help? Why would they lower it down and mess their money up? That's the whole thing. Like people, I mean, look. He didn't. He's not cutting the tax on your overtime. That grocery prices are not going down. Actually, they just had a report. Inflation went up 5% since January. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to keep going up. All he has to do is say, stop it. Put the prices back down. Lower the gas down. He'd be like, hey, we're going to go take over Venezuela and get the gas out. It's not about that. It's about making the corporate people rich and keeping us where we're at. And America's so divided right now, it doesn't matter because one side is happy that it's happening because you get to watch the one side that voted for him suffer. And the other side is too stupid to realize what they voted for, which is fine with me because when it's time to start looting, ooh, I'm ready for it.
I mean, it seems like it's
I don't even eat
definitely
eggs,
on its
brother.
way.
I stopped eating eggs. My daughter just
I mean,
hit me today. She's like, hey, we got 5 eggs left. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't know what to
I
tell
eat
you. I can't
I
afford
eat
that.
eggs. I eat eggs. I'm gonna be honest
It
with
was
you. I
13.
do.
I'll buy the good eggs too now. I'm like, I don't need to buy them cheap eggs. The little $2.99. No, I'm gonna get the fancy ones. They're already $15. You might as well get them.
You might as
Get
well.
them big old brown eggs, the one they're supposed to look brown. You know what I'm saying? Like you might as well. That's how I look at it. If I gotta go get gas. If it's 40 more cents for the expensive gas, I'm just gonna get the expensive gas. It used to be 45 cents when I was a kid to get a gallon of gas. Now it's like four something. I'm getting the good shit. I ain't gotta live like this.
Hey, U.S. sues New York officials over immigration enforcement. The U.S. Justice Department has sued New York state officials, including Governor Kathy Hochul, over alleged failures to enforce federal immigration law. Attorney General Pam Bondi told reporters on Wednesday. Bondi said the lawsuit, which names Attorney General Latia James and the State's Department Motor Vehicles head Mark Schroeder, takes aim at a green light law that bars the state from sharing vehicle and address information with federal immigration authorities. The complaint filed in federal court in Albany, New York, alleges that the New York law violates a provision of the U.S. Constitution, which holds the federal law preempts state and local laws that may conflict with it. It seems a court order barring New York from enforcing the law. Bondi said the law limits the state's ability to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement because it contains a tip-off provision that requires the state's DMV to inform someone when federal immigration officials request his or her information. I mean, so basically, I dropped something like this on my page talking about how they had already talked about freezing funds to sanctuary cities, and everyone's people were coming in and say they won't freeze funds to these cities because they know that it would be a much bigger problem. I mean, it will crater the economy. First of all, if you freeze funds to these states right here or these cities, and then these same states stop sending federal tax dollars back to you, will crater the entire economy. So you can't go that way. So this guy said, man, what they need to start doing is just arresting some of these mayors and governors of some of these different places and some of these city officials, and that'll kind of work. So this is what they're doing. At first, they're starting out with lawsuits right now. You know what I mean? Trying to enforce them to let them know, or let them to enforce, to let them into their state so they can go and send the ICE agents in to take care of the immigrants. But a lot of these states are not going to go for it. I think New York might fold sooner than later. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Because really,
New York's a prideful state. Oh, that's
what
old.
about
That's old America right there.
New York
You know what I'm
City,
saying?
man? New York
They
City.
now see you see as you see Donald Trump is from New York, all right, and you see how he acts. Now imagine, and he ain't been there in a minute. Now imagine the people. Yeah,
Yeah.
New York people are different. Yeah, I'll say that. New York, them people is they different. You know what I'm saying? They're prideful people. They're stubborn.
I'm
They
mostly looking at the mayor, Eric Adams, only because he went through the situation he went through, and will he send them in?
Eric Adams is is shell right now. He look he's they be like, look, bro, you gonna do what we gonna say. We tell you to do it. We're gonna bring that corruption. He ain't good for
That's what I'm
nobody no
saying.
more.
Most of them are
Look,
probably in New York City, so they might he might let them go into the city. I mean, I know that she controls the state, but yeah, at the end of the day, like you got to look at how close New
yeah.
Jersey is and the rest of these places are. He can send in some ICE agents in there quick to do quick snatch and grabs. You know what I'm saying? Or, like he can do that.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's what they're doing it now. They want total access though. They want to know where
yeah,
they're at, where they're housed, because they're not getting the ones that are hiding. They're getting the ones that are at work,
out in the
at
open.
school,
Yeah.
out in the open. They know where they're at because they're waiting for their citizenship to clear. They know where
hmm
these people. That's why they're making a big show of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we had the report where they're sending them to Guantanamo, and these people
hmm
aren't even. They're not even high risk. They're just
They're not
regular
even
people.
they're not even commit they haven't even committed a crime. Most of them came here legally. We got to understand most of the people he's grabbing right now, they know where they are because
Yeah,
they've signed up for immigration. They got an
and they have
immigration
jobs.
specialist who they're dealing with. You know what I mean? They're assigned to they have a court date to where they're trying to become citizens. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
it's crazy to me. These people pay taxes. It's all kind of stuff that we're just really not paying attention to. Is really more hate that we're allowing to
yeah.
but so I do hope that Pam Bundy, she's like, oh well, we're not playing around, and they already filed a lawsuit, I guess, against Illinois. They started out with Illinois already. They didn't probably want to attack the big dog, one of the big dogs first, but now they're going after New York. So now they're gonna have to fight against New York. But they got to understand at the end of the day, yes, federal law supersedes state law, but these states are sovereign. They can pull back wherever they want to. States can break apart from the union if it came down to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes,
Especially
yes,
these
yes,
big
states.
states that bring in all the money to the union. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? It's like
Period.
they're playing a funky game. What they're trying to do, they want to get their own people in there, which isn't going to
Yep.
happen. I mean, because in most of the states they're trying to hold off for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Which is it's not going to work. We're not even 30 days into this dude's stuff, and
He's
a lot
going
of people, and you can
fast.
see a
Yeah.
lot of people, even Republicans, are like, bro, like I thought he was going to make our lives better. It's just been chaos. I'm like, well, that's all he did
Period.
last time. It was just pure
Yep.
chaos. I enjoyed it because as a black American, I like to watch everyone suffer besides myself. But like I'm saying, it's just been pure chaos. Actually, I don't like to see people suffer. I want to have a good time. And that's what I liked about Joe Biden. I didn't have to see him every day. I didn't have to hear about him every day. You know what I'm saying?
There's
Like they
always
had to
some
make
fucking
up
problem or
stories.
something
They
going
had to
on all
make
the time.
stories to put him in the news. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, you're gonna hear about him every day. He gonna
I
write something
almost feel
every
like
day.
I almost feel like he ran through these and put all this stuff out fast so he can get them to either like file a lawsuit, file some type of injunction, so then he can start the process towards court immediately. So now you can't bring that process doesn't come back. Even if they come in, they have a different Congress, that process doesn't fall back. As soon as you start the process, he can start looking at like, okay, maybe this will take a year, maybe two, but by the time I take my little two, boom, I'm already getting in and getting out. And before you even get a new Congress, and maybe I can have my last people vote on whatever it is. The Supreme Court and whoever else rushes this through, like he thinks that like he knows they probably will. Most of these cases, whether it's the birthright citizenship or whatever else it is, this is what he's probably doing it for, just to kind of start the process immediately, see what they'll let me slide with, and then let's start the process on
Well,
everything else
yeah,
right
they
away.
had all that stuff written and ready for him to go. He
Mhm.
didn't. he said whatever he said, but it's the people behind him, the Project
Yeah.
2025ers. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he lied. You know, people. It's crazy. Like they're like, oh, he is doing Project 2025. We're like, yeah, stupid. And a lot of women voted for that, and they don't realize in Project 2025, he gonna snatch your children from you. It
And
says
you're
it in
not
there.
even
He says, see, they say because in Project 2025, it says women should not be holding on. They shouldn't be single mothers. They're showing there's and it says you're a terrible person for being a single mother, and they should actually take your kid from you, either give it to the father or put your kid into foster care.
there's another thing they were talking about too, as far as women, where they had brought up a fact of like pretty much that women who are married shouldn't be allowed to vote. It's some crazy stuff that they had, man.
And
They
you're
had
not
some
allowed to,
like some really strange stuff, like
and you're not allowed to get default divorces anymore. It's like if you're in an abusive relationship, you need to take that ass whooping. You know what I'm saying?
pretty
They're gonna
much.
make it harder for you to get to divorce. I mean, this is what people want. You guys want to go back to the 50s? That's cool. I mean, as black people, you ain't gonna get us to go back. Like you saw what happened in
Uh,
Ohio. That was just the lick of it. You saw what happened in Montgomery. Don't make us focus on one group. We told you this. Hey, but
we
we
all
go.
coming out ready.
We all
Hold on,
coming
let's
ready.
keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Let's knock out a couple more. I got a couple more real quick.
No, go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead.
full Ukrainian liberation from Russia unrealistic. Hegseth tells allies. Uh, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth appeared at his first meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group on Wednesday to tell allies that the liberation of all Russian-occupied Ukrainian territory is an unrealistic objective. Bloodshed must stop, and this war must end, Hegseth said in one of his most detailed delineations of Ukraine-Russian peace deal envisioned by President Donald Trump's new administration. President Trump has been clear with the American people and with many of your leaders that stopping the fighting and reaching an enduring peace is a top priority, Hegseth said at a meeting which was led by the UK, marking the first time the group has not convened under U.S. leadership. He intends to end this war by diplomacy and bringing both Russia and Ukraine to the table, Hegseth said. We will only end this devastating war and establish a durable peace by coupling allied strength with a realistic assessment of the battlefield. President Volodymyr Zelensky and his government in Kiev have demanded full territorial liberation, whether by military or diplomatic means, per the country's internationally recognized 1991 borders. Among Ukraine's other demands are binding Western security guarantees, ideally in a form of full NATO membership and Article 5 protection. So, I mean, Hegseth later on came out and said basically that he doesn't believe that Ukraine should be a part of NATO. He doesn't want anything to do with that. It just seems to me that most of the stuff that was talked about at this meeting when I listened to Hegseth speak were pretty much mimicking Russian talking points.
Yes.
That's all they've been doing. Now you got Tulsi Gabbard as intelligence secretary, or whatever the case may be, head of the intelligence department. I mean, right now, it's just not looking really, we're looking like Russian shields all over again. It's the same exact thing. I mean, oh, yeah, that's unrealistic. You're starting off with that as a talking point. That should never be your starting point when you're trying to negotiate something. How is that a
Yes.
starting
And then,
point?
you know, they said they're like, look, you're not getting Crimea back. You're not going to get the land that Russia's already taken from you. That's not going to happen. And Donald Trump's kind of sound like he's like, hey, they can kind of have Ukraine. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? As long as he gets what
He
he
already
wants out of it. He already
he
said it.
said
So
that, yeah.
so check out Ukraine's gone, Gaza's gone, but he gonna do his own expansion. I mean, think about it. You're watching Putin doing expansion moves. You're watching Israel do expansion moves. And think about all. And you said Tulsi, she's gonna be part of intelligence, right? You're putting all these
Head of
shells.
intelligence.
Think about it. You're letting Elon Musk. He's not even a fucking citizen. He's an illegal immigrant with so much power. Like America will never be the same. Like I hope we just don't get attacked in the middle of this. I mean, a terrorist attack. There's nothing to stop it. There's nothing. You're firing all the federal agents. You're firing all the FBI agents. Because in your head you're like, oh, they don't do nothing for us, and you don't even know what's coming. It's the crazy part. And for me, I'm just like, look, I mean, states are probably going to succeed. The damage that's going to be done here is not going to be able to be undone. Like I keep telling you, America is no longer America anymore, folks. It's America in name.
It's impossible for these things to be fixed. I mean, at the end of the day, countries can't trust you. You've taken away USAID. I mean, once you start taking food off the table, who do you think is going to put it on there? You're going to go
Someone
to
else.
China and other countries
Yeah.
like that, because they can't trust you. What is it? Every 4 years now, we're going to have to worry about who America elects, that's pretty much they're at the whim of a people. That's why they come up with BRICS. That's why they're trying to come up with their own currency because they can't be at the whim of the American people because we're
Yeah.
whimsical as hell. We don't ever stick in one direction. China always sticks in one direction. That's why they can mostly be successful. Russia, the same thing. They just have population problems and the fact they don't really produce anything besides they don't have anything besides natural resources to offer. So I
And
mean,
it's crazy. It's like, yeah, you're correct. You can't even trust them. It's like in 4 years, you can't even apologize for all the damage you've just done. They're like, no, we're gonna get it from this country because who knows the next Republican go come in there and he gonna do the same thing. Like you guys, it's
mhm.
too much. And
We gotta
so,
apologize in house before we can apologize out house. We gotta fix everything that we're gonna have to broken in the house
yeah,
before we can go and worry about what's going on outside of it. Imagine what you know how much chaos is gonna cause a new administration to have to repair just in what he's tried to break in the first 30, not even 30 days.
you won't even
Imagine what's
be
gonna be broken in four
you
years.
won't even be able to repair it. That's the whole thing. You'll have so much pushback because Democrats are so weak. We got to follow the rule of law, go through the proper channels, and this and this and that. No, you did that last time. Now look where we're at. Kids are about to starve to death. Old people are
Yep.
about to die in the streets because y'all was too pussy to actually put your foot on somebody's fucking neck.
Yep. They're
You
about
know
to
what I'm
stop
saying? You're
giving
too busy
benefits to
worrying
people
about
who
these
can't.
people coming into the country that can't even vote, and we're taking care of them and trying not to hurt because of white privilege. Let's keep it 1 fucking 1,000. That's the only reason Donald Trump is free right now is because of white privilege. If that was Barack Obama doing that shit, they would have locked him up that first fucking
They'd
month.
have killed everybody who tried
Everybody
to
on those fucking steps would have been dead and
every
in
one of them would have been
Guantanamo.
laying
He
them
would have been
down.
locked up. But you're
It'd have
trying to
been
give him some
gunshots.
grace because you're like, fuck. He's the highest. He was a president. Yeah, president tried to overthrow your fucking government. You stupid
Yep.
fucking bitches. Anyways, I digress.
All right,
I
one more, one last one. Let's
No,
get
no,
this
no. I
out the
think we're
way.
done there. We're done there, sir. We're done there. Thank you
Let
for
me let me
feeling uncommon courtesy.
let me knock this one out real quick. Let me knock this one out real quick. Is when
All
we're
right.
done. Some of the things that I say will be incorrect. Musk backs away from false claim of 50 million for Gaza condoms. Elon Musk acknowledged Tuesday that there might not have been federal plan to spend 50 million on condoms for Gaza. 2 weeks after the White House press secretary told the false story at an official briefing, and more than a week after the president basically doubled down the figure to 100 million, and then said the condoms were going to Hamas. Some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. Musk, the billionaire businessman who was leading Trump administration initiative they called Department of Government Efficiency, said when a reporter told him the Gaza story was wrong. So nobody's going to bat a thousand. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. This correction was not particularly quick. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt claimed that President Donald Trump had thwarted 50 million in condoms funding for Gaza, made headlines around the world in January. Trump kept repeating the story and inflating the figure, even after media outlets reported it was unlikely to be true. So I just want to get that one in really, really quickly, anyways, because I feel like, what I mean, at the end of the day, if a person can, sometimes when you say something, when you spit it out, it's going to get way. They always say, make your apology as loud
That's a
as your
disrespect.
accusation. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Period. So they're not going to do that. I hadn't heard that it wasn't true until this press conference,
Yeah.
and it was just so happens that now that he can be incorrect, he can't take his time, look through these things, and then spit them out as being facts. You're not taking so you're not very good at your job in the first place. If all you're going to do is just throw out things as far as for red meat, that's what you're doing it for.
Yes.
Because that's all I'm seeing on my timeline is just red meat after red meat after red meat. Oh, this is what we found. This is what they've uncovered. All this money, our whole national debt could be fraud. Man, come on, man. Like, let's be
Well, I mean,
honest
like
here.
the whole thing is he can say what he wants because, like I said, I've told you before on Twitter and X before, when you go to a trending topic, you would see 10, 20 posts before you get to actually what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It always took you time to dig. But now, since what he's done on that, he just ramps it up. So it's all just fucking right wing shit. And it's really horrible, actually. It sucks going over there. Because I mean, you can still get some news from like reputable people on there, but like if you go to like a trending topic, just all right wing, just craziness. It's not even mixed no more. And so for him, he's gonna lie. Of course, he's gonna lie. Who's gonna stop him? He works
He's
for a
figured
liar.
it out.
It's
He's
all
figured
just
it out.
chaos, bro. That's all it is. And some people love the shit because for them, they're like, oh, I love to see the liberals cry. And anything like this, I hope you people pass this part on. If you're a Democrat or you're liberal or whatever you are, stop crying online. don't feed if stop feeding these morons. Once you stop doing that, they have these people sit inside their homes in the middle of the woods, have nothing else to do. And once you stop posting and commenting on this stuff and just stick to your own circles, they're gonna go away. You wanna know why? Because they have nothing to feed that happiness they want to see of you being miserable.
It's misery loves company. It's a
Yeah.
doubling down of that effect right there. Most people are very, very miserable, uneducated people who don't know. I mean, who really are just saying these things just to kind of get under your skin. They don't understand. It's the same people who wanted to have a beer with George W. Bush. The same exact people, but this crowd has just gotten dumber and dumber and dumber over time. That's just how I look at it, man. To me, man, I understand what you're saying, but a lot of times we have to fight. We got to fight disinformation with the correct information.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
if
just
we
saying,
don't,
stop
we
crying
see where
online.
we are right now. I think a lot of times they'll take crying as a person refuting what they're saying. Like, okay, that's not true. Well, that's all you liberals always are crying all the time. And we know you guys attacked the Capitol because you said you were cheated.
Bro,
Like,
I ain't
that's
gonna
the
listen to
worst
them.
kind of
Look, they
crybaby there
crying.
is in the world.
They're mad because they got to learn about other people in school. Oh, good. I'm
Ain't
glad
that
you got to.
crazy?
You know what I'm saying? I got to learn about other people. Oh my God, I'm not the greatest thing in the world. Take it out. My kids can't learn about what my granddaddy did, but be
That is
proud of
crazy.
them.
That's a
You know what
very
I'm saying?
that's a
That's
very, very
exactly
good
what it
fact.
is,
That's a
bro. I'm
very
looking
good
at this.
fact.
They're talking about stuff at the shipyard, like, oh, they're getting rid of the DEI programs. Like, who cares? The shipyard's racist as fuck. It's always been
Everybody
racist.
knows
Now,
it.
people don't understand
Always
that the
has been.
shipyard here in Washington State, actually, it was run by African Americans. It was the only job they were allowed to get here in this town. They're the only job. And then the people saw how much money they were making, and they kind of shoot them out. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it 1,000 if you want to talk about a little history, but I don't care. Look, the shipyard's fucking racist. The transit's racist out here. The newspaper's racist. We don't need them because whatever we go do, it's going to be cool and everybody going to want to hang out with us. Nobody wants to hang out with racists. They don't know how to dance. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to do any of that stuff. They just know how to be angry all the time. Who wants to be angry? Wave invisible dicks in your face.
And with that right there,
With that, we're
we'll
gonna
go
let
ahead.
y'all go. We'll see you see you next time, folks. Oh yeah. Won the election. Uncommon courtesy. We'll see y'all next time.